All right. Okay. So today we're just gonna go straight up to I'm gonna go to my PDI. What do I have my PDI now? Just a minute. Trying to get two things attached so that we can have the question. All right, before we go further, does anyone have any question with regards to the service catalog I've talked about?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, I just want to uh, put in on it like we really appreciate this platform, and I really want to say we are sorry on the behalf of everyone in this class for not really active like what you really want us to be, but I think as time goes on, we need to brush up and try to meet up with the expectation you have been expecting us. So we are sorry for that, please.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We just have to just keep up, keep pushing. Actually, I know it's not easy. We've got lots of things to do. Everyone got a life. We've all got plans, and trying to get things inclusive in a plan like that sometimes it's not easy. It just came along about 2 months ago, and most of you just keyed in, which is quite motivating. Like people have the zeal that they want to grow, they want to upscale, right? Which is the first thing. You have a zeal that you want to upscale. So I think that's the motivating factor in this. But at the same time, let's just understand that we just have to keep pushing. Doesn't happen once, but as long as we keep pushing, it will definitely happen. That's all. Why is it not showing it on the screen? All right, can you see my screen,
Hello,
guys?
Mike, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Can you hear me? Oh, I don't know my response. Okay, my question will be on um manage the view for that the form view for that
Okay,
catalog.
that CSS form is a CSS issue, right? It's under, so when you have your service portal, so if you notice, service portal is kind of like a different portal from all the other portal, right? It has a CSSV file where you have to edit. So once you edit that CSSV file, you'll be able to make an adjustment. So that's kind of like a program. It's kind of like another module on its own, right? So as an admin, what you have opportune to do basically is just create the form, right? They will have a designer, a stylist, a developer who's going to design that separately. So when we're done with this part, right, then we're going to get into the other part. Well, first of all, you have to understand the dynamics in service catalog, how it works, how it function, how you can create something, how you can use UI policy. And there's still more added to it, like writing a client script, basically, right? So you can write a client script there. So the client script is actually going to help you out in way to make some customization using the client script. So Does that answer your question, Jackson?
Yeah, it answers. Could you explain that client script and there's another kind of script? Is it
So
just
it's client. It's called client script, and server script. Now,
okay?
basically, those two. That's what developer is really all about. Developer is all about client script, server script. It's all about your integration. Those are the three basic things that you need to know to become a developer. So that's when you have your, because as a developer, you'll be doing more configuration and customization. So depend on the user story, right? And client script make, for instance, if you have a form and I say if you pick, for instance, you choose a class, and you know we have different faculties. So for those that, like I did engineering in school, so first of all we have faculty, under faculty you have engineering, then we have department, right? Now normally you will say, oh, if you're all engineering students stand up, everybody obviously will stand up, right? Because we are all in one faculty. Now in that faculty you might say, okay, all mechanical students stand up, some people will sit down, will remain seated. Now inside that faculty you now say different level, year one stand up, year two stand up, year three stand up. Do you understand? Now out of the box you can't get most of those activity that most of those configuration you want to create in that form. So basically the only way to get them is to customize it, right? Now saying you need a script, so say if they are engineering, right? If you choose engineering, this faculty should come. Now, if you pick mechanical, only this set of these classes, years should year of grade, like the years of each of the students should appear, year one, year two, year three, year four, and all that. So you can still go further and say if they pick this setting, this should have. So you can actually customize it using client script. Now that's for a form, it's for client script. Now when you have anything to do with your database, to go and fetch information from your database, then you use your server script. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
All right. So that is when you use those particular client and server script. Oh, I need to share everything on my script. I don't know why it's still letting me. Okay, let me try this one. Just a minute, guys. So I'm trying to get the question and my PDI on one place so that we can. So
Can I
that,
ask a little bit more?
yeah, carry on.
Not on the client script and the rest, I'm on that. This developer, do you for you to do on that developer section,
Yeah.
do you need a little bit background of coding, a little or not, no matter what? Because I don't
All
have
right.
that.
So when people say you don't need coding to be a developer, it's not true, right? But the twist in it is you just have to understand the concept. Everything has a concept, right? Now, just a simple example is get me, okay, this is a form, right? So we have your client script. Under your client script, you have, okay, load. So when they load that form, I want this to be available. When they load the form, or depends, can be on load, right? So it depends on what exactly you're trying to do now. But because you understand the concept, right, then you will know that this coding part is not that difficult. Do you get? So it's, as I said, the first part of it will just be exposing you to a bit of the JavaScript that you will need to use, right? When you get that knowledge of the JavaScript that you need to use, then you go further and start implementing it. So there is, but it's not difficult. It's not like I never knew anything about coding, right, when I started. But going on, understanding the concept made it easy for me to know exactly what I want to do. Just like saying logic. Oh, um, if you are in this class, I want this set of people, right? Understanding those things first will help you implement it. All right, guys. So this is my screen. Can you see my screen? So now this is what we're going to do. We're just going to run through this, and we're going to work on the we're going to create a catalog item, and also go with the user story and create the flow and test it to just have an understanding, right? Like I said, the basic thing in catalog, creating a catalog is what? Catalog a request. When you have a request, from your request, you get your request item and you create a task. Now, just like someone placing an order, when you place an order, someone takes responsibility of trying to make sure that it gets that order and they get it sent to you, right? So now, this is just a sample. Say request for build a service catalog item with UI policy, manager approval, and automated fulfillment, right? A scenario. A goldmine investment is introducing a new request for gold service through the ServiceNow service catalog. Employee can request company issued gold bar or commemorate gold coin for executive award, customer recognition, and investment purpose. To ensure that the proper governance and approval, every request must be reviewed by your employee manager. Now, take note, when you are working on your service, when you are trying to, when you're creating a catalog, for every user that you have, make sure that for every, basically in a working environment, all employees, they have a manager, right? So you will not be worried about that, but basically they all have what? A manager. So now, the first thing we do is you go to your catalog item and you click on new. When you click on new, so if you have any question with regards to what I'm going to do, I've done this before, right? So you need to check, you need to go back to that video, the video of our Sunday class. You need to check the video because I've already done this before. So I'm just going to name it. Now, about the catalog, what did he say? As an employee, I want to request company approval gold through what? Service catalog. So that tells you that your request, your catalog should be under what? Service catalog, guys. So take notes. Now, did he say anything about your categories? So let's keep reading. So this is how you understand what you are given. First of all, you know the scenario, right? Then you look at what you're asked to do. Here's where the user story starts. As an employee, I want to request through what? A service catalog. So that tells me the catalogs is going to be what? Service catalog. Now, so that a manager can approve. So that's manager request and all that. Now, business requirements. Create a catalog item. So the name should be what? Request this. Now, the request must allow employee to request different type of gold for business purposes. Now, it said catalog variables. So these are the variables, right? Now, what you can do is you can just carry this scenario. Depends, they will ask you if they want you to use that. For those that have not done anything like this before, so if you want to add a wording, you can do it here. If you want to add image, you can add image here. And you can also come to this place also and add and also add what? You can add a picture here. So I might just add one so that we can see what's like. All right, so you can see, guys. Now, when you've started, the moment you create, you add a name, you choose your service catalog. If you notice, there's nothing like save here. So you can come here and click on save. Now, the moment you save it, you can see what it looks like. You can see what it looks like to know what you've created. So you go to try it. You can see, guys, this is what I just designed. This is what I just designed, right? So we'll keep adding things. So we've done with this part. Like I said, pricing. So we're not going to waste time on this. So if you have any question, you need to go back and watch the video for the last class. And if you still don't understand, you can come to me and we would go through. I would go through with it with you. So now the next thing he said, we've created the catalog name. Now this is request. We've done that. We have to create the variables. Now you can have a variable set. A variable set, I've defined what a variable set is and when to use variable sets, right? So we're going to create this variable. Now reference for. Now reference for will just be employers. So we'll go straight up to new. So the variable type is already here. It's telling you what variable type should be. Your variable type should be a reference. So I'm going to click here, my type to be reference. Now the order, it said it should be 10. Is there anything like mandatory, read only? Not yet. Now, what should be the question requested for? All right. Should there be anything like annotation? No. Like any help, show support. I was not instructed to do that. Type and specification. What should I reference it to? Now, it should be employee. Request for should be request to what? You should reference it to what? User, to system user. So I'm just going to say sys underscore user. All right. So now, like I said, I'm just going to click on what save because I have more to create. The next one should be what? A single line text. Now, if I don't want to use a single line text, I can leave it also at reference and change this place to 20. I'll come here, change the question to department. Take notes. So when you are trying to make an adjustment for a saved form, a saved record, sorry, you just have to delete this place and paste it. Right? You just paste that and that's it. Now, what I want to do is, there are two things you can do. You either go to auto populate Now, if you have nothing, because it's not saved, it's just saved there. When you auto populate from, if you are saying dependent on now. So let me show you something. I'll just create this without completing it, and I'll go insert and stay, and I will update it. Now we've created requested for, and it's a reference form. So guys, I'm going to go back to this place now. And I'll go to auto populate. Now you see, the moment I update the record, requested for as display, because initially I only saved it. Right? It's already there, but it's saved. You need to refresh for it to show. Right? So now you have seen my requested for. I'm going to click on requested for. Now, what do I want from requested for? I'm going to do a dot work here. Now I want to go to the department. There's a plus sign in the front of the department. And what do I want from that? The name. So that is it. Department.name. So it means that when I choose any name, as long as I have department, it's going to automatically what? Display. Now with that, I can take this one out to a single line text. So if I can use reference, but if you're using a single line text and you want it to auto-populate, that is when you use your dot work. So I'll change this one out to a single line text. Department. So automatically, once I go to single line text, the reference part here will disappear. Right? And that is it. So with that, we've created this one. All I'm just going to do is to update it. I click on update. So we have more to create. The next one says choice. It's a choice field. So who can remind me what we did with choice? So if you notice, we don't have choice, we have multiple choice. We have selected select box. So who can remind me which one are we going to pick? Are we picking up the list of multiple choice, or are we picking up the multiple choice? Are we picking up checkbox? What are we going to pick, guys?
Checkbox is okay.
Say what?
Checkbox.
Checkbox.
The checkbox is for one. It could be multiple choice now.
Multiple choice or checkbox? What's your final answer?
Multiple.
Multiple choice.
You said?
Multiple choice.
All right. Okay, so we'll pick multiple choice. We'll choose the name. The name is gold type. Automatically comes down here. So how do you get to update your choice? You have to save. Now, mind you, this place should be 30 according to the user story. So we have to save. So the moment you save, you automatically get where you can update your choice. So the first one, these are the choices. So the first one should be your gold coin. $100. So we can save if you want to be fast, but you have to understand what you are doing for you to be fast. So you have to change almost everything if you are doing, you are going to use that. So what we're going to do next is insert and stay. Right? Insert and stay. You go on to the last one. I have to change the text. I have to change the value. Now, mind you, you know the meaning of recurring price, right? Recurring price is a price that will just be there, keep adding. Recurring is not going, just as the name says. So I'll change this one to 400. So basically, you are not going to design anything out of the blue. Everything you're designing has to be what? So I'm going to go to insert and stay. Then I will update. Now you can see the four things are here, which is the gold coin, the gold bar, and the gold bar. 100 kg, 250 kg, and 1 kg. Now, if I'm done with that, the next thing I'm going to do is update. So now we have three, right? Three variables. So we'll go on to the third one, the fourth one, sorry. The fourth one is also choice. It says what? It's a choice feed. So you go for your multiple choice. Now, this one is going to be 40. That's the order. So order is just how it's going to be arranged. And I told you the least to highest. That is how it comes out. From least to highest. So what should be the name? Request and purpose of request. Automatically you get the UI name of it. Like I said, next thing you just do, you click on save so that you can have the choice part of it, the way you can create your choice. All right, so come here. The first one is executive award. Save. This one's going to be what? Insert, save, insert, and stay. What's this going to be, guys?
Insert and stay.
Exactly. So mind you guys, it's not that completely different from when you are creating your table. They are all similar process. The only difference here is when you're creating your table on your form, you can configure the form. On this one, for you to configure that form properly, you do it here. In terms of color and design, you use your CSS. Have you saved this one? Right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So guys, if I don't want to create a new one, I can just go to insert here, click on insert, click on save, come here, the same thing, save, come here and change it to 5. And just click on save. That same thing I've done. I don't want to go to that other place again. I don't want to click on new. I can do it right here on the list view. Six.
I think
That's
that
it.
list is better.
Was the other number gives to it to the other. Actually, when you come to the other number, right, the basic function of the other number is terms of arrangement. So it will arrange it in the order you want it to, starting from the least to the highest. So imagine when I've created this form and there's no order, it might come alphabetically, and that alphabetically might not be the way I want my form to display. Now, when you have a form, when someone wants to fill a form and you want to create a report, right? Would you rather have the name, because it starts with arrow, to be at the bottom of it, right? And you have the gold now coming on top because G is higher than arrow, because without your order, it's going to go in alphabetical order. So what I want when someone get my yeah, but you don't want to go 1, 2, 3, because according to ServiceNow standard, what of if you are asked to update that form? Where is the space for you to add something? So that's why we're giving a space of 10. So in case they call you and say, add to it, add to this form that we have, you have a space to add. Yes, okay, you can speak.
Yes, that's what I want to correct. That it can be like 1, 2, 3. It has to be like maybe 10, 20, 30, 40.
Yes, because so that you can add, so you have space to add other things to it. Is there any question? All right. So I'll continue. So we have this one. Now take note, if you don't click on that green sign, it's not going to save. Oh. You have to click on the green sign for it to save. So guys, I made a mistake. This is 700 and 700, right? In scenarios like this, so I'll show you. See what's going to happen. So I'll go to try it. I'll refresh this. So this is what you get. Now, there are two things. You can also use multiple, it's called select box, right? You can also use select box for it. But depend on how you want it to present, how you want the interface to be. Now, and you will be told exactly what to use. So take for instance, I want a situation where it will be in that round shape, right? I don't want it like this. I don't want where I will pick. I want it to be in a list form like this. What will I choose, guys? So I'm just going to do one example for you instead of wasting time. Let me just show you what I'm trying to say. But before that, you can see I did 700 and 700. You can see which one came up first. But if I go back to my multiple choice, for instance, so this one is even 100 and 100, which is not supposed to be. So save. Now I have to make this 800. Now, this is what I was trying to tell you. If you leave it the same number, alphabetical order is going to kick in. B comes before E. That's why on this form, you notice that we have B before E. So Jackson, this is why we're using the order. So I'll make this 800. I'll save and I'll update, but I want to make changes. Now, let's use select box. Now, take note. I want a situation where, so it asks you, do you want to include none? So you have opportunity to make such decisions here. You can say include none or don't include none. Unique value only. So let's update this one. Now, as you can see, guys, so what I did not save, that's why. Click on save. 800. Save.
You have not saved the value.
I did. I saved the value.
Because it's still showing 100.
Yeah. So what did I do? I deleted it. Oh. So I'm going to use select box for this one. Um, should be 40, right? All right, so I'm just going to type it there. I'll be fast on this one. So that's one. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not talking because I'm just trying to get this one sorted. So the next one, you know that other ways you can also do this, right? Do you guys notice similar error again? So you have to check. You have to check your work. Even after clicking, make sure you check it properly. I think that's what happened. I clicked on the green one, but it didn't save properly. So you see here, it's there. So I have to make sure I double check. And that thing is why you're working, make sure you double check. And always click on save. Always click on the green button there to always save it. Green, green, 7. All right, so it's the last one now. Save, save, 8. All right, so we're just going to update this one. Now, if we go to your trites, refresh this form. This is what you're going to get. So when you go to none, you pick any of them you want. You can also start from the first one. You can also configure this one that you should pick none. So everything will be blank. You have to choose. Or you know when you're filling a form, if you don't choose anything, this one I've chosen for you already. Right? So depend on your user story, like I said. It determines how you design your words, your form. So I'm going to go on to the next one. It said this one is explicit, and this one is defined for us. It said multiple choice, right? That's the type, multiple choice. This one I'll say choice, but under service catalog, you don't have choice. You have multiple choice and select box. So depending on what you're asked to use. Obviously, you'll be told which one, right? You don't have to think about those things. You'll be told exactly what you need to do. So I can click on new, use multiple choice. 50. Delivery method. So click on save. All right, so you come down again. Now, when you check, oh, so I've made mistake. Now, our purpose was supposed to just be, it's supposed to end at market event. So your delivery method is from here. I knew I was making some blunder. So I'm just going to go there. I'm going to go back. We'll add this one first, then we'll edit it. So under your delivery method, you add office collection. The next one is secure courier. And the last one is branch delivery. So I'll just give you an instance, right? So if you are working in an organization and they are they make use of ServiceNow. So I have an AirPod and my AirPod is faulty. The first thing I'll do is to raise a request. Right? When I raise a request, what they want is include none. Do not select the first choice. So once you click on this, do not select the first choice and update it. Check that you have everything according to your requirements. You click on updates. All right, so you have your delivery method. So I can go back and just say, put it to none. Do not select the first choice, did not work. So I'm going to use none. So meaning that none should be selected, right? So with that, we'll save this one. So before I go further, are you guys understanding what I'm trying to do? Mr. Chike, I don't know if you've gone through the previous videos. I know this might look a bit strange to you, but I assure you, if you can go through the videos, and if you have any challenge, you can also reach out to me. Just ask me question, drop it on the chat. and I'm going to respond to you with regards to your challenge or your question. Is that okay by you? All right. So the other guys, you know what we're trying to do, right? We're just working based on the user story, trying to create a request form. So this is like a company, they want to buy gold. Now, you want to buy gold from the company, you have to make a request. This is how you go about making your request, right? So we are creating that form that the employer, right, the employee, sorry, would use to request for either of the gold they want. That is what I'm trying to do. All right, so in that, for this one we created, we have loads of this. So I want to delete these ones. So I double click on it and I delete it, guys. Easy peasy. So you go back again, you click on it, delete. That's the easiest way to delete it. We'll go back again, click on delivery method, click on delete. So we've deleted it. So we have the right one. Branch delivery also need to leave. So I'll go back, click on delete, and delete it. So we have executive award, customer gift, investment, marketing events. So all right, we are in good shape now. So just click on updates. All right, guys. So with that, we've done the first one. We have one question, 2, 3, 4, 5. So how many do we have more to go? 6 and 7. So we have dates. So you just come here, you click on dates. There's date and time, and there's also date, right? So you can just choose dates as being specified there. So for that date, I'm just going to save it. Oh no. I was supposed to put a number, which I didn't put. So I'm just going to come here and type 60 and save. All right. So the last one is multiple line text. All right. So click on new. So it said multiple line text. This should be 70. This should be the name. All right, so we just have to click on submit. All right, so now this is where we're going to work on our UI policy. Who can remind me what UI policy means? Who can remind me what UI policy means, guys? Can anyone try? All right. So look at this question. If gold type is gold bar, then business make business justification mandatory, make required delivery date mandatory. Now, how do we achieve this? You go to your catalog UI policy, right? So when you go to your catalog UI policy, you click on new. Now, you have to give it a short description, and that is this short description here. If gold is this, so you put that there. I've also explained all this. You can click on this one, you can click on this one if you want them to display. If you don't want them to display, then it's up to you. Now, you can click on what? Saved. Now, when you click on save, it comes down. What kind of UI policy are you creating? Now, look at it. So, if gold, mind you, I missed something. Okay, yeah. So we have to add a condition. Now, what's the condition? Gold type. If gold type is what? Gold bar. Gold bar 1 kg. Then I'll save. That's the condition, which is this. If this is this, right? I've done that via that condition. Now, what do I want to do? I want to make business justification mandatory. So I'll come here, business justification. I will make it what? Mandatory. You say true, right? And you what? Submit. And also, you go back to new again, based on still on the same condition. You go, the next one is what? The dates to be required. So he said you should also be what? Mandatory. So you make mandatory new, true, and you save it. So I've shown you, I've done an example of what it should look like. Is that all right, guys? So at least the other ones you can go and try by yourself. We have other stuff to work on. So as our custom, we'll have 10 minutes break. Then when we come back, we'll go over to the flow part of it. So this is just a refresher, just for you guys to have a clue of what we are going to be doing next. What we're doing next is going to the flow part of it. Then when we have time, we'll just talk on notification. So we'll go for 10 minutes break. And when we come back, we would continue with the flow. So what we just have to do here, we'll save it, check for it on your service portal, and see this and everything. Jackson, do you have any question before we go on the break?
Yeah. I think the
No.
rest can still come break if they want to. I just wanted to like sort out my dev platform because I don't know why it's not opening. Maybe I don't know what's happening to my.
Okay, let's just go for the break. At the end of the class, we'll check. I will check that with you after the class.
Okay,
All
that's
right,
fine.
so we'll come back 6:15. All right, guys. All right, guys. So let's just continue. So now we've created all these things, right? Now let's see what the form is like. So just going to expand it. All right, I'm just going to refresh. Now, this is the form I created, right? So this is what we have. So this is what we have, right? So let's just say I want to update it. So I pick a tutor. So you can see department comes out. I pick gold bar, the purpose, executive award, office collection, dates. It's not mandatory, but depending on what I'll choose makes it mandatory. Now, text box for notification. You have to put in a notification. Oh, why do you think this person need this award? Oh, he's working well. He has achieved a lot, blah, 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 blah. And after that, you click on what? Order now. Now, when you click on order now, guys, you can see we have a request number, right? This is a request number. Now, click on this request number. When you click on this request number, you can see that a request item is also created. That is why I told you that when you make a request, when you request for something, it gives you a request number, and also a requested item will be what created there. And you can see there's approval here, right? There's an approval here. So this is what we just requested. This is just what we requested for, requested item, request that gave us what the requested item. Now, with this, we are going to create a flow. All right, so we click on new.
Sorry, where did you click to get that flow?
So
Where did you click to get that flow? This flow, that process.
I want to create it. I've not created it.
Yeah. Which module is it?
No, it's just go to when you. Okay, let me go back. So when you go to flow, you go to flow design. Under flow design, just click on that flow design. This is the template
So
that
where is it? Yeah,
so
where is it on that catalog items?
no, so catalog item is different from your flow.
Okay.
It's different from your flow. Yeah, that's why I said for you to create a flow, you have to go to flow design. So in my previous class, I did explain what we use a flow for, why we are using a flow, right? So I can just do a recap in case you forgot to know something, right? So basically, when it comes to when we talk about flow, we are just trying to say what an automated what process, right? So basically, what flow does is it automates a business process without what requiring a script. Now, they enable what organization to streamline repetitive tasks and coordinate what action across applications. Now, if you send an email every time, or let me just give you a simple example. For those working in a telecom communication company and they get requests, let's say customer care. Now, most times they receive call are based on incidents. Now, your manager want to be in loop of major incident that have high priority. right? You can create a flow because that is a repetitive situation. It's always going to be happening, and you want to be in the know. So it's a repetitive business process. So you can have a flow for that. So whenever you have any high priority incident, he is going to be aware immediately. He's going to get a notification that there's an high priority incident. So that is basically how we use our flow. Now, common flow can be approval, can be task, notification. You are trying to create a notification, record operation. You can create a record, update it, delete, retrieve, record automatically, right? For approvals, it can be maybe a request. Like if you want an airpod, you want a laptop, you have to go to your manager. You want holiday, whatever you want, you go through your manager, and your manager have to approve it for that action to be valid. Now, when it comes to your tax, it can be automatically to create or assign tax. So you can also do that with your flow. Notification, you can send email, SMS message, and all that, any alert to inform someone, right? Now, first of all, note that it's low code, it's a drag and drop interface. You just need to drag and drop. There's nothing else you're doing. So it's very easy to automate business processes. So it will help to reduce what manual effort. So instead of you doing so, if for instance, just like I said, when incident creation, and after you've created the incident, you created an incident form, for instance, a record. Now, you need to choose which department that is going to handle that incident. But because of you can use what your flow also to automate most of those process and say, oh, this team, if this is the issue that have been complained about, this team should be responsible for that. You can automatically create a flow for that. And that task will be assigned to those group of people that should work on it. Is that clear, guys? All right.
It's clear.
Okay, so let's carry on. So now I'll go back again. The first thing I did was duplicates. So I went to all.
I think
So
what the question he's asking is how do we get to that inflow
that is
interface?
what I'm trying to show now.
Good, good, good.
So you go to flow. I know, but I was trying to explain so that you understand why we are using the flow, what it's meant for, right? So you go to your flow design, just click on your flow design. It takes you automatically towards your flow. Now, under your flow, you have your flow here, subflow, a flow under a flow. We have trigger, action, decision table. You have a playbook. So this playbook can tell you how step by step of how to carry out some activities. That's what your playbook does, right? You can also create a new playbook. So if you have a process that you carry out and you think that most people, just like if you notice most times, guys, when you call most of all these service provider and you have an issue you are trying to resolve, maybe you notice that your internet is not strong or something, or maybe you notice that you are not you're having internet or you want to pay for your subscription, right? They can create a playbook for that. So that playbook will tell you step by step how to pay for it, what you need to do when they'll just it will explain that particular process to you, a continuous process basically. So we'll click on flow. Now we'll click on new. Now, when you are done with that, take note, it always have a name, right? Your flow should have a name. So you can say what? Show business justification, flow design requirement. Create a flow design using what? Service catalog trigger. The flow must perform the follow action, trigger block. So we are creating a flow for this. Copy, Copy and paste. So your name, they will have to give it the specific name to use, right? So me, I'm just using any name. So next thing you do is click on what? Build the flow. Now, as you can see, guys, I need you to be attentive here because this is where the flow work starts. All what you've been doing before was just creation, you're creating things, but you need to understand this process so that you know how to create. Now, when you look at it, we have your trigger, we have your action, right? I guess I have explained this process to us in our previous class where I made mention of each of them, what you use your trigger for. Also, when it comes to trigger, if you want to create an incident, maybe you want to get an incident. So trigger basically is like you're getting information from something, right? Now we've created a catalog item. Now when we've created that catalog item, how do we bring it to the flow? So saying I want to create a process where every information that comes from incident, like any incident, like people calling. So under incident form, the category for where you get this information could be called. Now I want that anytime those information come via the calls, I want it to go straight towards for approval, right? Now the information, how are you going to get that information? That's where your trigger comes in. So your trigger is to bring in the data that you will use for your processes, for your process basically. So now the first thing I'm going to do is I click on what? Trigger. Now what am I going to get out of the trigger? Service what? Catalog. So what am I going to get from it? Right? So you want to trigger what? You go to your records, go to service catalog. So you click on service catalog. Now, mind you, if you come back to this place, if you notice, what category did we use? What catalogs did we use? It was the service catalog. So now we want to trigger through the service catalog. Where is the information stored? That is the basic thing you need to know. Where is this information stored? Under your service what? Catalog. So I go to service catalog here. I click on service catalog. And I click on done. Now, when I click on done, automatically you see that there is a request item record by the side of it. The moment I click service catalog, request item. Now, you can also get information from your incidents. You can get information from your change, depending on the flow you are designing. So whichever flow you want to design, trigger is where you bring that data down to your flow. Is that clear, guys? All right. So the next thing we'll go on to action. Now we've had the flow. How do we use, where is the data? We've gotten the particular place where this information is now. How do we get the data to that flow? That's where your action comes into play. Right? So now we'll go on action. Now, under this first action, you have action. This is actions, right? Select multiple. So these are actions. Now, under your action, we have action, flow logic, and subflow. Now, when it comes to anything that has to do with conditions, is under your flow logic. Say, for instance, if gold is 1 kg, it comes under your logic. But anything that has to do with updating record, deleting record, get record, they come under your what? Action. So now we're going to, because we want, the next thing we want to do is, now we've located, the first thing we are doing right now is bringing your data to your flow. Are you guys following me, guys? Are we all together?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
All right. I need your response so I know we are moving on the same frequency. So you need to bring that information to your flow. That's the first thing you do. Now, so where is the information stored? For what we're trying to create a design right now is stored in our what? In our service what? Catalog. That's why we chose service catalog. Mind you, the essence of what we're doing is it is a repetitive task. We want to simplify it. So we created, and when you create a catalog, then you need to create a flow for that. Right? You need to create a flow if you want to create a task. So there have to be a flow for you to have a task. Now, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to go to get. So you go to get. So you're going to go to get catalog variables. Get catalog. You can see under ServiceNow core. You can go step by step if you want to, but you can go to ServiceNow core. You go to get catalog variable because we created what? A variable. No, sorry, we've created what? An item, catalog item. Now that catalog item is under catalogs, and we have what? Variables. So we want to get that variable into this flow, because the condition is if you click on gold, for instance, depend on the gold, maybe you click on gold 1 kg, you need an approval for you to be able to give that out, right? Now, how will those information come in? Now, we've located the place that data is, which is your service catalog. Now, we need those variables inside what? The flow, right? So we click on get what? Get your get catalog variable. Now, under that get catalog variable, if you look at it, we have what? Action input, requested item. Now, there are two ways you can get it. If you notice, I told you here that the moment we fill a form, right, and we order that, we click on order now, a request is created, which is this, a request number is created. It's like a tracking number, right? When you create that tracking number, a requested item is also created, which is this. Now you can see the difference is one is arrow EQ, the other one is arrow ITM, which is requested item. Right? So those are the two things. Now, what do we want to use? Now, we want to use this requested item. So when we go back to our flow, we need this requested item record, right? Because that is the form that's been created. So what we're using here now, we're using your requested item. When you create that form, that request creates a request item. That is the request item we want to use. Now, how do we get that? Because that is the only way we can get the catalog variables from. Because the moment we click on catalog, look at what is displayed here. Once we on the trigger, when we get service catalog, you notice that automatically requested item was created. Now, if you go further, you will see that when you click on requested item record, you will find your request. There's requested for and request. Request is this is what is being created first when you click on what you submit. All right. Now, how do we get this? You can either drag and drop. You can drag this requested item here, or you click on this this icon that look like fan, and you go further, click on requested item. So take note, whenever you create a trigger, always use your requested item. That is what you need to use. All right, so that has been created. Now, select so what is the name of the catalog item that was created? So you have to get that also. You need that information. What is the name? So it's called requested for good. Sorry, request for good. Now, we'll go back and type request for good. You can see request for good. Now, we move all this because you can see create a catalog item that points to this flow. Now, what's the flow going to use? The variables the flow is going to use, these are the variables I want the flow to use. And when you are done, you click on done. Now, take note, when I click on done, the variables they appear at the what? The right end of this place. The variables appear again. You now have your requested for your department. These are the variables we created here. You can see these are the variables we have, and they are now presented here. You can see them here. So the moment I click on trigger, a requested item record is what created, and this is a requested item record that I will need to get the variable. All right. So the next thing we are going to do, still on the story, because we are going on with the user story. So a trigger, we've done the trigger, right? So after the trigger, it said retrieve the catalog variable. Yes, we have. We have retrieved the catalog variable, which is this. Now send approval to request for manager. So the next one is to send approval, right? Now, what are we sending approval for? Do you get what are we sending approval for? So just a quick one. What we are sending approval for, saying if anybody choose, if we check the gold, we have gold coin, gold bar, 250 grand, 1 kg. So which one do you think is most expensive here? Just pick one, guys.
Gold bar.
Gold bar. Which of the gold bar will be expensive? 10K, 10 grand. Is that?
250.
1K.
All right. So now we are going to say what we're going to create now. Now, is it going to be an action or a logic, guys? Because now we want to say if the gold bar
Logic.
is 1 kg, request for an approval. So is it an action or a logic?
Logic.
Sir?
Logic.
All right, you guys, Jackson and me, you are correct. It's logic. So now we'll click on what? Flow logic. Now, under the flow logic, guys, I want you to understand that this is just normal thinking. So take for instance, if you don't have the key, can you get into your house? If you don't have your house keys, can you get into your house? The answer is no, right? Else you can go through the back, right? If the back door is open. So if I don't have the front key, right? Else you cannot get in at all. So if you don't have the front key, if you don't have the key to your house, you cannot get in. That's your else. If is another condition. So these are all conditions. So you just need to go through it and understand when to use them and when not to use them. So now we're using if. Now the first if is if the gold bar. So if the gold type is gold bar. So if the gold type is equals to what? Gold bar. Now, mind you, like I said, whatever you have on the first place is what you are using on the next one. Oh, take note of that. Right? So now we are writing a condition here saying if the gold type, like you can see, this is gold type, right? So you can drag and drop. What is the condition? If this one, just come down here, because from the form that we created, we have this gold type as multiple choice. And if you come to so if you come here, you can see you have your gold coin, gold bar. So if anyone clicks on this, on gold bar, if you notice, I put some condition. This must be, you must fill in this mandatory column before you be able to submit it. So now we'll go back to our flow. So if anyone choose this, so we're just going to drag this here and drop. You can also click on that part there. Now let me just expand it so that you can have more visibility. Now if you say gold bar is equals to this, that's the condition first. So the next thing you're going to do, you click on done, right? Then what are we told? Ask for an approval. So in my company, if I want to request for anything, so be it I want to request for an airport, maybe I have a faulty airport, I want another one, I will, when I make a request from my request portal, right, automatically I need an approval from my manager. So it's something similar to what we are doing. All right, so the next thing is you need an approval. Approval, is it under action or logic, guys?
Action.
All right,
Action.
correct. Ime, are you with us today? Mr. Ime?
I'm here, sir. I'm here.
Well, I need you to
Okay.
respond. Let's make it an interactive session, right? Let
Yes,
everybody
sir.
get
Yeah.
involved. Thank you.
Sorry, sir.
All right. So the next thing is ask for approval. So if you type approval here, so if you don't want to start looking for anything, you are not good without to search for things, just type it. You see, it comes out ask for approval. Now, which record are we using now? Are we going to use, guys? Can anyone guess the record we are going to use? So in a flow, is like step, is stages. So after one stage comes another stage. If you notice, when we created the trigger, we had to use the information from after under that trigger for the next, for the get catalog variable, right? Now, the question is, what record are we supposed to use? The record we are supposed to use is based on that condition. If is the results you get from that condition. Does that make sense, guys? So what's the condition? We said if the gold type is gold bar. So when people fill the form, what result we get out of that gold type? If it's gold bar, that is only when the information, that is only when it will trigger. But if you choose gold bar, 1 gram, what do we have there? We have coin. So if you choose gold coin, it will not trigger anything, right? The only time it will trigger is when you choose what? 1 bar, That is when you need an approval. So there are some items I will make requests for. Only my manager will just click on it. Okay, approve. But there are some requests I will make. My manager, his boss, has to approve it. Right? So those are the steps. But normal minor requests, they always want to put your manager in loop. But there are some requests you will make. His manager, the manager of your manager has to get involved. He has to approve it for such item to be procured and given to you. All right. So now that comes down to, what are we going to use? Are we using, when you make your request, are we using the status, or we are using what? Okay, yes. All what we have there is just one thing. We have the status and action status. So what record are we going to use, guys? So first of all, let's click on it. Now, if you are confused on what to do, when they talk about record, sorry, the record here has to come from what? Your SC required item, which is similar to the record we used there. Right? So now when it comes to record, because, so you go back to your approval, we click on this place. If you are confused on what to choose, just click on your what? It's called stockpile. Your data pie, data pie picker. So click on your data pie picker. You see, you click on is not requested for. So it's asking you for your record. So your record, you go to requested item, right? So when you choose your record first, now it comes down to what? Your reasons. Now the reason, we can say if is gold bar, if it's gold bar. Now, what is going to happen if it's gold bar? Either you approve or deny. Now, under approve, you have either approve or reject. You have approve or reject. So you can choose anyone. It also depends on the user story. So I can click on approve or reject. Now, who is going to approve this? I'm sorry about here. This place is supposed to be the, when you say record, because if you go back to your data pie, let's just double check. When you click on your variable, you can see that it's only requested for, what they only have here as a record is requested for. But we are not going to get that information from requested for. Mind you, we have this, we got our catalog variable from your requested item in the first stage of the creation of the flow. So that is the record that they're asking for. So that's why we have to choose what? We have to choose requested item. Is that clear, guys? But we are still going to use this decision, the status, in the next part. Now, so we've done that, requested item, and after that, the table automatically comes in, because that is the table where everything is saved, right? This goal type is not a table. This action approved here is not the table, right? So we need the table, and the way you can get that table is your requested item under your service catalog. Now, another part is the rules. You have to set the rules. Who can approve? Who can reject? Now, you come down to, there are series of questions that are there for you to choose. Now, anyone can approve or reject. All users can approve or reject. Now, you can choose a specific person. You can say what? Anyone, or you can choose your approval rule. or you can say anyone can approve, anyone can reject. So it's also based on your user story. You don't have to think of a solution, or you have to think of it the best way to resolve this. So most things in ServiceNow don't need you to think. They just need you to understand how it works, so that you can. So you are a creator, you are designing, you are a designer, right? So if somebody wants, let's say an architect, if somebody wants a house, they will tell the architect how they want the house, and the architect to design. So you are not going to design this based on your own thinking. Oh, this part you are choosing anyone, you are not thinking about all those things. They will tell you exactly what to, what value they want there. But it's less for you to understand the mechanism, the process, how it works, so that you can design it properly and it will work. Now, when you say anyone, now we are going to choose. You cannot get that information from your service catalog. Now you can get that information from your variables. Now, you requested for, I want the manager of the person requesting for that, for this particular gold bar, the person making requests, I want the manager of that person to make approval. Company standard is your manager that will be the first person to approve your request. How are we going to get the manager? If you notice, this is a reference field. When you see a sign like a semi-triangle sign in front of this label, know that is a reference field. Now, click on this. What are we going to look for now? You can see these are all reference fields. Now we are looking for the manager. The manager, we are looking for the manager. Right? Now, if you click on that manager, there is still another, it comes out with what? With a name. Do you get? Now, like I said the other time, because it's a reference feed, you can click on the manager and that is fine. You can also add anybody you want. So let's say we can also add, let's say, so if you don't choose the right, information, guys, you will not get the approval process working. And if you don't get the approval process working, then there is going to be an issue. Your flow will not trigger. So you can also choose the name of anybody according to the user story. For me, I just want the manager of the request, the person requesting it, to approve it. Now, with that, I will just click on what? Done. Now, after this have been done, what's next? So when you make a request and it has been, so there are two things that will happen. It's either it is what? Approved, or it is not approved. Is that correct? Yes, so it's either it is approved or if it's not what? Approved. So there are two conditions. It's going to be first, is it going to be an action or a logic, guys?
Logic.
All right, so it's going to be a logic. Now, it's going to be if, right? So the question is going to be if approve. If approve. So if approve, this is where I told you we are still going to use the word, the status. So what we're using now, we are using the status. If it's approved, which information? So where would you get that information from? Is here. the status. Because from our flow, we said, like you said, the record, where is that information stored? Your requested item under your service catalog. Now, when you fill the form, if it's approved, how do I get that information of if it's approved? Is under the status, which they approve, they ask for approval because it's an action. So that action is whenever someone click on the gold 1 kg, that approval tax already, because we use that if condition, is going to save that information in your what? In your approval state. Now, we cannot use this approval status basically, right? We are not using the approval status. What we are using what is the approval state, because that is where this information is stored. So we pick this one, drag and drop. Now, how do you know you are right? When you click on it, it will tell you not yet requested, approve. So now we'll click on approve. But let's just double check. If we take the status and put it there, do you see that there's no drop down for you guys? The status does not have a drop down. You have to impute, and you don't want to impute because it's a flow. Less code, right? Easy to use. So it means what? You have to change it instead of using. So don't confuse on where to get. So if I tell you, oh, once it's approved, you need to do this. Where will I get that information? The information that it has been approved is under your what? Approval state. So pick it there and drop it. Now you see that there's a choice, a multiple choice. So we'll click on approve. So ask for approval. Yes, we've asked for approval, right? If it is approved, you have to what? Save it. You save that part. If it's approved, you close it. Now, what next? When it is approved, then create a catalog tax. Create a catalog tax. Now I will explain. Now, that catalog tax is someone buying something and it's already approved, right? That person should get what he has requested for. That is the tax. Who is going to handle the tax? So you have to create that tax where somebody has to do something, either to give the person that award that I want to give. All right. So now that is going to be what? When you are creating a tax, is it going to be an action or a logic? So guys, for tax, is it going to be an action or a logic?
Action.
Action.
All right, action. You're correct. So now we'll go to action. Like I said, just type create what? Catalog. You can see. So the first time we did was get catalog variables. So we type get. Now we want to create a tax, a catalog tax. So we have to use what? Create what? Catalog tax. Now we'll click on it. When you click on it, whenever you see requested item, don't stress yourself. Just come here and drag this one and drop it there. Right, guys? And when you hear of record, also go and pick it. Depend on the record you are working on. If you are working on just normal requested item record, it has to be requested item. But there's still a place where you will need the request. And I'm also going to show you that. So now, when you create your tax, You've chosen that. Now, what you can write, what you can pick your short description from the tax. Are you getting me, guys? You can pick your short description from the tax. And how do we pick it? So we can come to this place. So the short description can be exactly that information on your requested item. So when you create, so let me just show you what I'm trying to say. So I can go to my data pile picker, click on trigger, requested item, not this one. So under your requested item, you can come here. Now come down. You can see short description. So this is going to match exactly the short description that has been created. Right? Now, what are we trying to do with this tax? That's the question that's the question we should ask ourselves to know exactly what we want to do. Now, when we are creating the tax, is to assign a group to be responsible for this request. Are you getting me? Now, also, I would show, let me take you back to, so if you click on this requested item, now under requested item, you can see that we have catalog tax. There are two tax already, right? We have 1002, 1001. Now, look at our catalog tax. Now, if you click on this one, for instance, you click on this tax, look at the information that need to be filled. So every company have their own catalog tax, depending on what they do or depending on what they are trying to achieve, their purpose. Now, for this catalog tax, the basic information that they need is who to assign it to. And also, you can choose the configuration item. You can choose the priority of that tax. Right? So you can also put a description, depending on what the tax entails. So, and like I said, everything is based on what? Your user story. Now, we have to choose. Let's choose the name of create. Okay, request for goods. Request for goods. So automatically we get the variables are now available, right? All right. Now, we can, like I said, you can shoot a short description from here to make the short description be exactly the short description from your requested item. So we just pick that, put it there. Now, you can add more field, like I showed you here, your tax. We need to assign it to somebody. Now, who are we assigning it to? Now, here, we can pick assign to. Now, how do we know who to assign it to? So the assign to, you can choose, right? We can choose where the assign to will go to. So come down, you go down to your, you can go to the department. or you can assign it to an IT team, IT group. You can assign it to anybody. You can also auto-populate that and say, okay, I want it to be assigned to the group of that requested for, the department of that requested for. So you can come here, you go to department. So you can be assigned to this department of the requested for, the head of the department, whoever you want to assign it to. Right? So, but I can just say, okay, hey guys, just give me like 5 minutes, please. All right, guys, so we're just going to finish this one before we leave for today. So just spare me extra hour, right? So we can assign it to a person. You can assign it to whoever you are being asked to assign to, right? Now, if we go to assign to, you can see these are the people that they can assign this particular task to. Why? Because they are under this department. So there will be a department that will be responsible for your task. So those are the people you assign it to. Is that making sense, guys? All right, so we can come back and I will say assign to what? The request department, requested for department. Right? And also, I want the priority. I want the priority to be what? Moderate or high. Now, this task will be created automatically. So this is what I want to trigger, that when you go for approval, this task should create and this person should be responsible for the task. That is what we have here. So we are just creating this task from the flow. Okay, so we can say it should be high. And after that, you can add requested item if you want. So everything is based on what? The user story. So once you say requested item, you just come here, pick your trigger and put that there. Requested item. Now we'll save. S. So if it does not happen, what should then? So if approve, yes. Now what if it does not approve? You can go for what? There's end here. You can say end flow. Now, guys, the first thing you need to do is you have to activate it for this to save. You have to activate it. So you click on activate. You activate it first. Now, if you come back to your request, if I don't add that flow I just created here, right? what I'm just done is not going to work. When anybody click on gold bar, there will be no approval process, right? So I need to add that flow to the catalog item. If I don't add that, it will not work. Take note. So now I'm going to come down here. What's the name of my flow? It's create a flow designer. So just copy that, come back here, and so you can see. Now, when I've done this, I have to update. I have to update it. Now, since it's updated, come back here. All right, so if you notice, we're on up, there are stages. So I'm still going to show you that stage where you can find it. So basically what I want right now is your service catalog. Requested item, leave yes. All right, guys, so it's been added. Now, we want to test the flow. Mind you, when I created a flow, under your request item, go to your RM request. You see, when we were creating your UI policy, if I didn't click on show, it might not display here also. All right, let me just do something. If I change it to this, to gold bar, and I put this text, right? I just have to save. So now it's on gold bar, office collection, there's a date and all that. Now let's go and test your flow. How do you test your flow? You come down to this place, click on test. Now you have to choose what you want to test. What did we create? We created what? A request that created a requested item, and this is the number. Make sure you copy this number. You come down here and you put that particular number and click on run test. Now you see it's finished. Your test has finished running. View the workflow. Now another tab is going to open where you can view your workflow. Now you can see it got up to this place where you say evaluate false, not running. It means that I have to approve or deny. Now, mind you, another thing you should check that might make you not get an approval is the requested for. I am the requested for instance. Now look at it. My name pops up, right? Now, I have to check the department, or I have to check, do I have a name? Do I have a manager for me? Is there a manager here? Because if you don't have a manager, if you go back to this place, refresh this, you should have approval process to carry out. No, under requested for, sorry. Under request, refresh your request. Once you refresh the request, you should have an approval. So it means we have to first of all create a manager for this ServiceNow admin. So you see, I have to put the manager there first and click on save. So I have to choose a manager. So let's say Abraham Lincoln, and I update. All right, so since I've added a manager, I'll go back and run that and run the test again. I'll run the test again. I'll check execution. Same thing. So I'll go to my request, refresh. It's not coming up, but let me just fill a new form. So if you want to check what you have created, you go to your SP service portal under request. Now, so we have different categories. So if I don't want to look for it, I just have to come here, request for good. All right. So we have this. Now I'm going to choose. I'll choose so it's under customer support. I'll choose this. Investments. I'll choose a date. Just type to order now. Now we have this RI number. So click on it. All right, so I just have to check if he has a manager. No, he doesn't. So I have to edit it, make sure he has a manager. So I need to take the name. So see what I was trying to tell you guys, if there is no manager name, you might have issues because you need someone to approve, right? So you need to pick somebody that will be responsible for the approval. So under this place is just read only. The tax is not created yet. So I will go to user. So before you get to this part, guys, always make sure you choose whoever you are using. What do we use there? Okay. 10. All right, needs a manager. So I'm going to update it. All right, so he has a manager. So now I'm going to get this, go back to my flow. Paste it, run the test. View it. So you can see, because it has a manager now, is waiting for approval. So you come back to your RIM and refresh. Can you see now that there's a request for approval, guys? So I can go back to the user. Who did I choose as the manager? Masker. So I can go back to Masker, click on him. So you can come here, you can click on him, or you can just go. When you click on the request, you see he can now decide to approve. Not yet requested, requested, approve. So you can decide to approve and just click here, approved. So I've changed the state, I've approved it. Now, the moment you approve it, go back. When you run again, so I need to get that requested item for again. I missed, I went to open too many tabs. Let me just close up all those tabs. All right, so what we're working on is this. So working on this requested item. All right, so I go to my history, requested item. All right, guys. Now, the moment you approve it, a catalog tax is created. Now, when we click on this catalog tax, I want to have 2 again so I can redisplay it. So we go back again because we have 2 approval to make. Now you go to the approval, you can right click on it and click on approve. So you see, we have approved it, right? Now you can see a task is created. Now, once the task created, so what changed was only I and the IOTM, but the name did not change. So it means it is not going to use the manager. It's not using that manager. It did not display. So we have to go back and edit that flow. Right? We have to go back and edit the flow. So we'll go back to creation of catalog tags. We've got this one. The priority changed to I. The requested item was the same. So now we're just going to come here and pick who will be responsible. So whoever we choose that is going to be responsible, let's say Alan Rabek. So if you want to make changes, you have to deactivate to make changes, right? You deactivate to make changes. When you are done, you can reactivate it. Okay, so now let's run out that test. Let's test run again. We're going to get another approval. So let's test run. Run. So now we'll come back here. We'll go back to your requested item. Now, when you refresh, you see it's been approved, right? Assign stay empty. So we need to come back to view. All right, so I chose the wrong one. That's why it did not display. So I need to get this arrow. Take notes. If you don't get this number equal to what you see, the numbers are not equal, right? So that's my bad. I didn't put the right number. So if I put in this number and I click on run, so if you check it, it's waiting for my approval. Now go back to the RTM, I refresh. You come down, see your approval, right click, approve. So once it refresh, you've got the third task. You can see it's been assigned to what? Assigned to a person, right? You can also assign it to a group if you want. Now, what is the essence of this whole process? It's just to tell you that each company have their module of operation. When people make requests, after that request, someone has to be responsible. A tax is created. Each company have a different tax, different way they create their tax. You can customize it, right? But the tax can be, who are you assigning this particular issue to? Depending on your user story, tell you how to go about it. But our tax here was simple. Get an approval. Once it is approved, right? Once it is approved, so you can see the tax is created. So once it's approved, you create a tax. So the tax is what is also what created. Now, another issue you can have is this. When you want to close this tax, you want the request and requested item to also what? Close. Right? So when you close the tax, you want the request and the requested item to also what? To close. All right, so let me add a group. So there's something else I need to check. All right, so it's clicked. So we can add a group. Now take note, you can edit your flow. So let me just edit the flow. I want to add a group, assign group. No, there's no need to add an assign group. So that's it. Now we've created your flow, right? Now it will only trigger because I've added everything. The flow will only trigger when you have that. Now the final one we're going to do before we call it a day today is, so let's go and test run it. I did not, you will notice that we did not find it on the service catalog. So we have to go back to that catalog form. Go back to your maintain item. Now, you see, we don't have short description. So we need to put short description there. Updates. Now we have short description. Now, if we go back, to your SP, your service portal, now try finding request for gold. So if I want to be specific, I'll come down to my request for and choose a category. So that's where it's going to save. So let me just say office. I choose office and I update. So if you come back to your SP, go to office, you can see you have my what requested for. So you see what when you have a service catalog, putting it under categories is easy for those finding. So if you are working in a company, you must put a particular request form under its own category. People that want to request for hardware should know where to go, right? People that want to request for software should know where to go. So now, if we click on this form, so I'm going to fill this form. Before we pick anybody, we have to be sure that that person has, we want to pick Abraham Lincoln, I have to come back here and double check that Abraham Lincoln has what? A manager. So I can just go sys_user _list dot do. All right, so I want to go with Emilia Caputo. Might have murdered the name, but I'm going to give Ebututa as the manager and I will update so that we can watch the process, how it works. So we look for her. All right. So this person, she's in IT. So I'm choosing gold bar. Mind you, let's double check because we don't want any hiccup this time. So what did we say? What's the approval for? If it's gold bar 1 gram. So everything is working, everything is in right shape. So we are going to choose gold bar. We say investment, the date is mandatory because of the UI policy. This place we can just add will take it. Right now, click on order now. So it always come request for. You have to put the name of the request, the person requesting it. If it's the administrator, it should be the administrator here. So I'm going to look for a name. Yep. Check out. All right. So I have to come down, copy. If you don't want to stress yourself, guys, just come up to ServiceNow, duplicate. You go to your search bar and paste it on your search bar. Right? This is it. Now, when you click on your request, what? You can see there's an approval process waiting already. The moment I create it, it takes me straight there. I click on approve. Immediately I click on approve, a tax is created. You can see this is the tax and it's assigned to this person. Is it clear, guys, how it works, right? Do you understand how it works now? Now, after making all this, after approving it, you want a situation that if Elaine works on that tax, now she's done, because most of the times people make requests and they don't close their tax. So sometimes they will tell you after 14 days, if you don't respond, the tax will close automatically. Now, the final part is I want a situation where if I am done with this tax, is assigned to me, and I've worked on this tax, if I take this place to close complete, right? For instance, if I update it, you will notice that even the request. So let me open another one. So I'll take this one back. All right, so this is the requested item. Now this is the tax. So if I update here that I'm done with this tax and I update it, guys, if you come back here, refresh this place, you see that it's still open. The requested item is still open. It means the form you filled, if someone else look at it, you will notice that nothing has been done. Do you get? So you want a situation that if I'm done working on a particular request and I've sent it back, let's say like the gold bar, the person has picked up the gold bar but does not want to resolve that particular task. I can say, okay, yes, if I close the task, automatically it should be closed on your request item and also your request. So the request you applied for should also close automatically. So that brings me now to the next stage of your flow. Before we go further, is there any question, any challenge? Do you all
Well,
understand?
not from me.
You said?
No, from here.
All right. Mr. Eme, is there any question, any challenge?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay, do you understand?
Yeah, I understand, but I need to go back to it.
And watch it again, understand?
Definitely.
Mr. Chike, I know you are still catching up, but we'll still get back to you. All right.
Yes, following up, sir.
All right. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. All right. Now, so after that, what next do I want to do? I want a situation where I close that task and automatically it should also what close. So the form that they use in requesting should also what close. Now, next thing to do is what you are going to update a record, because first of all, you created a task, right? Now, request item, request, they are all records. You see, when you click on request, this is a record on its own, right? This is also a requested item, is record on their own. So you want a situation that where the tax, we open another one so I can have that tax out. Now you can see the tax, not this one, not this one, not this one, requested item. You can see this tax is still on close complete, but the person that the request is still open. It's saying approve, but the request state, if you notice, the state here is still open. You can also display the state here if you want to, guys. You come down to your configure, come down to form layout. Now, global. So, guys, you can see the state is still open. Stage is still what request approve. It might confuse people. You don't want to have too many requests. Do you get? So you want a situation that, because mind you, your KPI is based on your task that you have completed. So when I finish a task, I always want to make sure that it is closed. I close that task as soon as possible. Is that clear, guys? So because of your KPI, you need the task to close. And now when you are done fulfilling a task, you want to make sure that the requested item and the request, they also, or those records will also go to what close complete on their own. So now we need to update what we need to do one thing, update what the request, update the requested item record, and also update the request what record. So how do we do that? Under this, we click on what action and just type update. So you have to update record. So what we are doing, we are updating request item record, right? So we click on update. Now, when you click on that, which table are we trying to update? Is requested item. So you just come here, pick this and drop it. Simple as that. Right? So when you drop it, the other thing you are going to add is this. What field are you trying to work on? Take note, guys. We want a situation that this stage should be on close complete and this place should be on what close complete, because on your task, what do you have? You have your what close complete. I want to display the stage here also. So let me go and look for the stage so that you can. So we have SLA due, service updated by. Do you have anything like stage? All right, so I can't find stage here. So what we're trying to update is the state. So when you are done, you just update the state. All right, so to do that, we'll come back here. So we are going to look for what? Your arrow request item. This is your request item, guy. We want the state to be what? Close complete. So we'll come back and we choose your word state. Now, we want the state to be what? Close complete. That's one. Two, we want to add a note, a work note. Work note is very important because you update people working on that. I want to work on that particular record. We'll see that something has been done already. So it's been resolved, right? We click on done. Now, we also want to do the same for your request. You go on action. Now, for this one, I just want to explain a little bit of it. You still go to updates, action, go to updates, update record. Now, what are we going to use for update record? Because we use requested item record, right? Under requested item record, another record here is request. So when you come down, you click on this request because this is the request form that you fill. So if you come here, you can see SC_request, right? So it's not even requested for, but this is what request. You can see it here. So where can we find that? We can only find that under what? Your requested item, because under request you get to requested item. So it means you can also from requested item go back to your what? Your request. Does that make sense? All right. Okay, so let's just carry on. So take this and drop it here. So what do you want to update there? The stage. So type state. You type the state. We want it to be what? Close complete. Then we can add a work note. So when we are done with that, we click on done. Now, what I'm going to add is, you see, there are stages here, right? So there are stages we can add. So I click on this, there's none. So I come here to my three dots. I go to flow stage. I come here. We have change request, knowledge record, request item. We are working on request item. So I add stages on request item. If you notice at first, we do not have the stages on this place. There's no stages here. We only have states. So now I want to add stage to it through my flow, and I save it. Now here, I can say when it is what? Now, there's another thing I missed, right? Now, if the task is closed, that's what I'm supposed to add here. So I'm supposed to have an if condition. So if the task is closed, because that's the essence, I created that record, the update, to update what? So that's what I missed. So if the task is closed, now what task? So we have to come here, you pick this record, you drop it. So if the task is closed, now the task we are taking should be the state, the state of that task. So we'll go to that task, because it's like I said, you know that you are wrong. Whenever you drop anything, you don't have a drop down. Know that you are what? You are doing something wrong, especially when you are not asked a specific thing, right? So if they had said, if the tax should be this, but this one should be an option, we are on about the state of a tax. So if the tax is closed, and then if you check under state, there's a drop down. So for every column, whatever column you choose, right? If, for instance, you are choosing a text box, then you can impute a word. But if from the form, whatever column you are choosing is a drop down, and what you create is not a drop down, know that you are wrong. So we have to go back. We look for states. Take this state, we delete this one. That's why, to show that I didn't get it. So delete that one. You take your state and you drop it. Now you can see that there's multiple choice. So if the task is closed complete, right? Only when the task is closed complete, then you can update. So if the task is closed complete, so I have to drag this here. So I have to drag this one here to this. So this is how you drag. You just drag, come to the end, you drag the record, and you drop it. Can you see how I did it, guys? You just drag and drop, right? So at this point, I want to add a stage to it. So when it is what? Complete. So if the task, if the task is closed, complete, right? The stage already will be complete. So if we come here, you come to your task. So now, else, another condition, else. So when it's not closed complete, so we just have to duplicate. So if you want to duplicate, guys, you just come here, duplicate action. So once you duplicate an action, you copy it, you just come here, click, and you drop. I also want to duplicate this action. I would explain why. Come here, click, and drop. Now, meaning that if you have the key to your house, enter. If you don't have the key to my house, don't enter. That is if, what, and else. Now, we're just going to update this one. So let's change this stage to request cancelled. Right? Under request cancelled, we have to come here. We open this. We just change here. We change here to what? Close incomplete. Close incomplete. Then we say it's not been resolved. It's not being resolved. We save. You do the same thing here. Close incomplete. You put is not being resolved. We save. Done. Now we can end the flow here. You go to logic and end the flow. Now another thing, yeah, you can end the flow here. You can end the flow here. You can also end the flow here. All right, so for my changes to be effective, right, I need to activate, like I said, just like saving. So I activate. Okay, so we have a request item. Let's try a new one. So go back to my form. This is the last part of it, guys. I know we are all tired. It's quite a long class. But we just need to get this sorted so that when we come back. So if I don't want to go SP, I can go to service portal. So when you type service portal here, you can see service portal. So you click on your service portal. That is the SP I always type. You go to your request. You can go to office. You look for your request for good. Now, we'll try again with the same Amelia gift. These dates. All right, so if all the conditions, no, gold bar, sorry. So all the conditions, yeah, then office. All right, so it's Emilia Caputo. Now order, the name must match. So you have to choose Emilia again. Check out. So the request for here must match up the request for there. If the names are not matching up, you have an error, guys. All right, so with that, you can see that a request is what? It's created. Now, copy this request. So I just go on the global search. I search this. Search. All right, so you see, it has been created, right? An approval is already, there's already approval on the way. So now let's approve it. Go to approval, right click to approve. You see a tax will be created. So the tax is created. Now we'll go to that tax. Now let's say we are done with the tax, right? So let's see. I want to see if we still have that stage because I added a stage to it, a flow stage. So let me see if I've got a flow stage to it now. I'm going to find that, but not to waste much of our time. So let's just go back. Saved. All right. So if peradventure I take it to close complete, the moment I update this place, right? Close complete. You go to our request. You go to our request item. So let's just copy this. Come to our request item and check. We have to go back to the flow and see what happened. So it says if this is close complete, so it should give you this. It should convert to close complete, done. Else, it should end. So I'm going to try it here. I'm going to test it here. Okay, RTM. So updates. So I've updated it. Let me see if it will also reflect here. So you can see, guys, automatically it changes the moment I updated it here on the moment I updated it here and I click on. So the issue I had was I did not update. So once I click on update, you can see automatically this state went to what? Complete. The stage went to complete and the state went to what? Close complete. Now, if you check your request, will still be what? The same thing. So with that, guys, we've come to the end of the class today. So just take your time, go through the video step by step. I'm going to drop an assignment for you so that you can use that for your practice. I'm going to state everything properly in a way that will be easy for you guys to work with you. So do a practice of it. So we just have 2 classes left next week, Saturday and Sunday. So guys, please endeavor to be available. Then for those that are serious to write the exam, I can have a class for you guys just for past questions and revisions. So with that, we'll come to the end of today's class. Any question before I go? All right, guys. Mr. Akwa, do you have any question?
No. Not
All
at
right.
all.
So thank you very much. We'll link up next week.
Could you still send that to me?
Say what? Jackson, I can't hear you. Can you drop a message?
No, I was send that link again.
All right, guys. Jackson, you can just drop me a message. Jackson's like, your network is poor. Just drop me a message. So, all right, see you guys.